So it's season 4 of Love and Hip Hop New York, episode 3. This is the review, recap, and opinion of the episode titled Let's Be Honest. The episode begins with Peter Guns and Rich Dollars meeting up at the Gaslight Bar in the meatpacking district of New York City. And Rich Dollars, the thirstiest man alive, is having a drink. Other than his usual tea at that. For the record, tea is slang for gossip and drama. And Rich Dollars' kidney looks like a little black kidney bean from drinking all of that tea. Because this dude is always looking stressed out, pitiful, and or desperate or thirsty for something. That's why he's aging prematurely. Which explains why Erica Mena is always saying that Rich is looking old nowadays. Peter Guns, on the other hand, is looking a little old in the face because his energy vampire of a wife is sucking the life out of him with every touch of her lips. I mean, Peter's forehead is so wrinkled, it looks like a row of bacon. And what's really good with Peter looking down at his confessionals? I mean, you're not that tall. If you want to look pitiful to get sympathy votes, Peter, just remember, you're not a puppy who peed on the floor. You're a man who pees on women. Anyway, Peter is crying to Rich and trying to get him on his side. He wants at least one person to say something nice about him at his funeral after these women kill him. Thirsty Rich assures Peter that even though he is double dipping with the women and possibly spreading diseases like a mosquito, he's not a bad guy. Here is Rich's completely insane, thirsty logic in his own words, and I quote, "The indiscretion makes you a creep. The feeling of trying to not to hurt nobody and be a good guy in the end doesn't make you a bad person." End quote. I don't know what type of language he was speaking in, but I know that that's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my life. No, that's the dumbest thing ever said by a man in the history of humanity. Now, I hate to say it, but Peter needs Dr. Phil Benzino to pay him a visit. Of course, I have to hold the consultation outside in Peter Tarzan Gun's natural habitat. I mean, seeing that Peter's on that fuck your couch stuff, Benzino will not be having Peter put his feet on his sofa. Never. Anyway, in the next scene, we arrive at Sin City Script Club in the Bronx, New York. Uptown, baby. Anyway, we meet up with Joe Budden and Nia Lee. There's stripper chicks all around, and one of them is all up in front of the camera with no hips. I mean, her tattoo on her love handle sticks out further than her hips do. Just saying. Anyway, Nia Lee needs career advice from Joe Budden, a guy who was pretty much a one-hit wonder from a song called Pump It Up, produced by Just Blaze. And it's been about 10 years since Pump It Up came out. So she is a whack rapper looking for advice from a never been. Yes, not a has been, a never been. Now, I gotta pause for a second. This chick Nia Lee with the bald head and a scar on her chest looks mad familiar. Oh, now I know where I saw her. She's Sagat from Street Fighter 2. She needs to explain why she has that bacon on her chest. I need to know, and I need to know now. Sagat. Maybe you say tiger uppercut. Anyway, so Nia opened up for Kendrick Lamar at a show. Wow. And honestly, that's not that big of a deal. And she did a song with Jadakiss, and that's not big of a deal either. That's called paying for a feature to be on a record or being at the right place at the right time, however it happened. These are honestly not very big accomplishments. And who wants to hear a Nia Lee album? Nobody, not even her. Joe Budden does this stupid comparison between Kendrick Lamar, Jadakiss, French Montana, and Erica Mena. First off, if Kendrick Lamar wasn't produced by Dr. Dre, he wouldn't be where he is right now. Not to take anything away from him. Number 2, Jadakiss is a hip hop legend. I'll give him that, and he's most definitely not a legend for his recent business ventures, which included getting a tattoo on Black Ink Crew and now doing a song with a whack stripper rapper. And number 3, doing a song with French Montana, a corny New York rapper pretending to be a Southern rapper, is an insult. Why would he want to take A$AP Rocky's job like that? Anyway, Joe thinks that a novice can't help a novice to get anywhere. And I am left having flashbacks to 2012 when Joe Budden went on a woman hunt at his Oakland, California concert and pulled a Bon Qui Qui. Girlfriend Joe Budden has security remove a young lady from his concert. Why, you ask? She tweeted out a picture of the small audience and said, quote, and tweeted this out, quote, "I wish the picture really captured how dead it is in here at this Joe Budden concert. True story. Look it up. It was so empty in there, they found her at the snap of a finger and escorted her out of the place like she violated." So basically, Nia, you taking advice from Joe Budden, who can't even do a real concert that he might as well have done in his bedroom. You might as well change your name from Nia Lee to Annihilate, because you could be making a career-ending move. I'm just saying. In the next scene, Tara Wallace is meeting up with that sorry Peter Gunn's character at Platinum Studios in New York City. Peter is finally confessing to Tara that he cheated on her with Amina Butterfly, but he fails to mention their marriage. But he does admit to the infidelity, and Tara is pissed. She hopped up out that seat like it was hot and started smacking on Peter like she saw flies everywhere. And she even kicked his precious guitar. I thought that she was about to pull a honky tonk man on WWF wrestling and smash the guitar on his head. Tara claims that she never cheated on Peter in the last 13 years and yada yada yada. And of course this scene is fake. But forget all of that. Tara, if you want a rebound, we can videotape and send it to Peter if you want to. Ow. In the next scene, Erica Big Booty Jean meets up with her best friend Mystic at Brooklyn Industries clothing store in Soho, New York City. And this is pretty much a bunch of girl blabbing about Saigon and that paternity test situation. Now, Mystic feels that Erica should take the paternity test to shut Saigon up so that they can move on with their boring storyline. I mean, it's just a ridiculous situation. On a side note, her friend Mystic looks like the mixed breed version of Big Ange from Mob Wives and Miami Monkey. She has that whole evolution diagram look to her. You know, when they show you a monkey at stage 1 and then at stage 5 we have a human. Yeah, she's stuck at about 3.5. I mean, life has obviously been rough to her. So I'm gonna move on. In the next scene, Amina Butterfly and Peter Guns are at B. Smith's in Hell's Kitchen, New York City, and Peter lets Amina know that he didn't tell Tara, whatever, that he loves her because she didn't ask, and he didn't want to hurt her feelings any more than he already has. That sounds like something that a woman would say. I'm sorry. Let me explain something to the women right now, though. The fact that these two beautiful women put up with this mess is why so many men do stuff like this. Because a lot of you want a man to do this. It gives you something to do. It's a hobby for y'all to eat and shop and gossip about nonsense like this. But remember, guys, women are a business, and you got to know how to manage your business. And Tara is the wrong business partner. I'm Team Amina. I don't care what anybody says. In the next scene, we are at Quad Studio in Midtown New York City with Nia Lee and the hottest girl on the show, Erica Mena. These two bi-friendly girls are discussing Erica not being 100% into this garbage song that they're supposed to be doing together. And Erica is wearing her mommy jeans, so her looks like a wrung out sponge. It's just not flattering at all. Anyway, Nia turns on a really terrible beat and begins rapping nonsense about money and being bald or whatever she was talking about. And I'm about to throw up. The beat was trash. The rhymes were trash. Her haircut is trash. She is just, I wish she would retire already, and the first single hasn't even been released yet. She, out of the indigo blue, begins attacking my girl Erica Mena over nothing, just like she did with Rich Dollars. She is yelling at Erica like she doesn't know that Erica is crazy too. I'm just glad that it didn't turn physical. In a nutshell, they will not be doing the song together, which is good for Erica's career in the long run because she needs to be in the studio with me. But in the next scene, the beautiful Tara Wallace is walking barefoot in her shoe-sized apartment. Production made sure to show the fact that they cleaned her floors for her. Thank you, VH1. Your cleaning crew is something special. You see, VH1 showed Tara's newly cleaned floors with the same editing that they shoot their butt shots with. And I can't be the only one that noticed that big old clump of dirt on the left side of the screen. I can't be the only one that noticed it. Anyway, this was the most ridiculously staged scene I have ever seen in reality TV history. They show Tara with her feet on her sofa looking at digital pictures of her children and Peter guns. And before I say something messed up to get myself shot at, I'm going to move on to the next scene. I'm being careful because there's some things that I wanted to say that go so far that I really have to stop myself. Yandy Smith and Tara go to have a cup of coffee at McCoy in Greenwich Village, New York City. It was one of those, another one of those silly girl talk scenes. The fact that they're so pretty and Yandy had on some pretty earrings were like the only things that kept me awake. I was about to fall asleep. So, okay, now we're at Casa Les Femmes in New York City with Erica Mena and Sin Santana. Now, this is the scene right here. All right. The two lesbian lover ladies are sitting down to eat. A meal, that is, so get your minds out of the gutter. We find out that Sin with a C, that's C-Y-N, not S-I-N. My girl Sin is down to earth and a low maintenance chick, just like I like them. She'd rather go eat at Chipotle. Pretty much this scene was just two big booty Latina models talking nasty and showing a bunch of cleavage. It's pretty much a lotion and paper towel fest. That's all it is. Okay? And it was slightly ruined by the fact that Erica Mena's teeth are so yellow, she looks like she eats crayons and shit coloring books. I never noticed this, and it was probably the lighting, but I'm just saying. Now we're back at Joe Budden's house. I thought that Tara's scene was the most staged scene I've ever seen, but this one takes the cake. And it was so staged, it was funny. Tahiri is outside, and she's about to walk into the house. And they made sure to get the best gratuitous shot of Tahiri Jose's big butt that they could. They always do this to her, Erica Jean, and Carly Red. They probably do it to all of the other chicks, but these women especially. So Tahiri is looking cute in her white blouse and her long, tight, peach-colored skirt. And she has on a 10-gallon hair hat. I mean, her hair helmet is so long it looks like a cape. She has so much weave on her head that Tommy Sotomayor would die if he saw this, or at least faint. Anyway, Tahiri, according to her corny storyline, got the movie role as I expected, and she will be away for 4 to 6 weeks on an island, probably drinking with topless, strange men everywhere. And as a man, I wouldn't in 1 million years stay in this relationship. No chick is going to be up in hundreds or even thousands of men's faces and a vacation-like atmosphere with alcohol and music, and I stay with her. That is an environment for loose and single people looking to mingle. So I'd give her the deuces in a second. I would have moved on already. No kidding. I would not have asked her to not go. No discussion needed. When she contemplated going, I would have pulled my phone out, showed her herself in it, and deleted her in front of her face and walked away. She would have been left there at the jeans store with the bill for them custom jeans. End of story. No hard feelings, because women are a business. And I would have shut the doors down and went out of business at that moment. right. Let's go. So anyway, this scene is so staged, I contemplated not speaking about it and ignoring it completely, but I'll take a crack at it. Tahiri is on the bed with Joe, letting him know that she is about to go cheat on him with mad guys and have drunk orgies or whatever. I mean, she's about to go do the movie thing for 4 to 6 weeks without him. And she magically out of nowhere, all of a sudden just finds the tiniest piece of hair. It could have been a pube. She probably planted it herself, to have an excuse for the cheating that she's about to do. So she picks it up and starts asking questions, acting like Columbo or Kojak or something. And Joe claims that he was merely chatting with a friend on their bed, and Tahiri claims that Joe Budden is more filthy than Peter Guns, and that he never changes his filthy, disgusting sheets. She changes them all the time. And I'm thinking, does he not want her to go because she's a maid like Mimi? Tahiri, the Latina maid stereotype, should really work some of those missing children's cases with the police. She hunted down and located the dirty sheets in the pillowcases faster than I've ever seen anybody do anything. Anyway, this scene is so staged. The pillowcase was covered with foundation, implying that Joe is down for the prone bone, and he's a smotherer. Stop stealing my moves, dude. So Tahiri ends up storming out, all upset over what she finds, and Mona just needs to hire me to write these scenes because, this was bad, even for VH1. So now we're at the Hardgrove in Jersey City, New Jersey, for a meeting between Rich and Yandy is being messy. She pretty much states that she is Team Tara and that Tara will be confronting Amina. Like she will make it happen if she has to. Yandy is being so unprofessional and so personal about her friendship and loyalty to Tara that she's talking about walking away from signing Amina altogether. And Rich, of all people, is talking business and thinking with his smart head, probably because these women are taken. And he's letting Yandy know that she needs to be focused on Amina's talents at rocking the mic on stage and not the bedroom. Rich is actually right for once. Now we're at Saigon's house in Nanuet, New York, with Saigon, Erica, and their to-be-determined son. Saigon walks up in the room with what appears to be a present. Come to find out, it's a cheap DNA test. And if the ones that they use on the talk shows are 99% accurate, then this one must be 9% accurate. Out of here with that cheap test. Now, I learned 2 things about Saigon for watching this scene. Number 1, he buys really cheap DNA tests. And number 2, Amina the vampire would never go for a guy like Saigon because he has no neck. He's one of them dudes that got to turn his whole body just to look to the side. So in the next scene, we visit the Blue Flame Agency in Midtown New York City to check in on Rich Dollars and Erica Mena. They are having a business meeting, and Rich is on the phone as she walks in, and she must have on 2 push-up bras. They first discuss the negativity that went down with Nia Lee, aka Miss Bacon Breast, and then they move on to the good part. Erica lets Thirsty Rich know that she's coming out with her 2nd book, a calendar, and she even has a girlfriend now. And Rich nearly died of thirst twice. Think about it. Every time Rich is in the scene, other than the confessionals, he always has a drink. Tell me I'm lying. So in our last scene, we're over here taking a visit to the Rustic Club in Brooklyn, New York City, and my beautiful butterfly, Amina, is singing and playing her keyboard. She has a long, gorgeous Lara Croft from Tomb Raider braided ponytail with an attractive, strong Baraka from Mortal Kombat face to match. My kind of vampire. Anyway, after leaving the stage, Amina sits down with Rich and Yandy. And Yandy is being so nasty and tacky, throwing jabs at Amina. She then asks Amina whether or not she is a star. Amina emphatically says yes. And Yandy asks her why she would play second. Right as Tara walks in and sits down, of course. Thanks, VH1. So Tira sits down, right? And Amina and Tara are talking things out. And Amina is like, look, I didn't know about the other child. I didn't know that y'all's situation was quite so serious. I just knew y'all had a baby together and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, things start to get heated up. Tira calls Amina a quote-unquote outlet. And Amina is, of course, pissed. She hops up and just so happens to have her social security card or her driver's license or her trans vampire sexual card or whatever it was. And it was right where my mind was, in her bra. Anyway, she puts whatever this document was right on the table for Tira to look at and asks, I'm an outlet? And then says, I'm his wife and ain't nothing fake about that, while standing. Oh Lord, why did she do that? Tira hopped up and slapped the vampire out of her. I honestly turtle-headed. You know when a little piece of feces peeks out of your butt like a turtle's head peeking out of its shell? Yeah, I had one of them moments. I was scared. Tira viciously attacked Amina with so much ferocity that Yandy, the one who set up the fight, had to pull Tira back once it started. There were at least 5 security men, and that was not enough strength to hold back Tira and Amina from killing each other. It was terrible. My least favorite scene of the whole show. And the crazy part about it was that Rich was acting all thirsty and feminine and laughing and smiling like it was all fun and games, like he wasn't at a business meeting. Anyway, am I the only one that noticed that Tira left makeup on the back of the Asian security man's shirt? Now we know who was hanging out with Joe Budden. Case solved. Now this is a note to the girls out there. Women fighting is unattractive. If these 2 women are going to fight over Peter guns, they need to be fighting over who's going to scrape that shit off the bottom of his foot. I mean, of all of the men in the world, Peter guns. So that was about it. Amina was carried out of the club by security, even though it was her own concert or show or whatever. And she wasn't even done performing yet, but still, they removed her. So I'll see you next week, and I'll try to have the recap up on Tuesday. Check out my YouTube playlist for more videos related to reality TV and more. And subscribe and comment.